Hello, everybody. How you doing out there, internet land? Hope you're doing well, and welcome back. Welcome right on back for more Narcissu side second. The last time we were together, a friendship is more solidly formed with Setsumi and Himiko. Himiko got a list of things apparently that she wants to do before, and she's decided to try and pull Setsumi into the plan. So let's see how that's gonna play out. Sure, it's gonna be great. There are lots of great adventures ahead. Keep forgetting that that's the automatopoeia for cicadas crying, and it makes me giggle. Hot. Even though it was still morning, it already felt like midday. Today also looked like it would be a hot day. In that, walking the 3-minute distance, I again was headed toward the hospital. In my hands, the usual tote bag with a pattern of yellow sunflowers on white. Nothing in particular had changed from yesterday. It was just another summer day. What differed was, hidden inside the tote bag, the lunch that my mother had made for me. Yeah, we're gonna have a nice little lunch with our friend that we've not told our mom about, because I don't know that mom can handle that quite yet, knowing that we got a friend on the 7th floor. Pretty sure mom knows what the 7th floor is. Hey, Setsumi! Called from far away, I turned toward a familiar voice. What's going on, being in a place like this? I've been waiting! I wanted you to help me a bit. With just those words, Himiko-san quickly started walking. Just where was she going? Wherever it wasn't the main entrance, but the rear. While not knowing what was happening, I followed along. Okie doke, here we are. The place we'd come to visit, the place we'd come to was the hospital's courtyard. Around the small fountain was a clock and many flower beds. While I had been hospitalized, it had been a place I came to numerous times. Is something going on here? Yeah, look over there. What Himiko-san was pointing at was the corner of a flower bed, roughly 3 meters square. It was just that even though there was grass and flowers blooming around it, the patch alone had nothing growing in it. And so, ta-da! What's that? We gonna plant a tree? Oh, bulbs. I was thinking we'd plant them here now. Why the hell would I think they're gonna plant a tree in a flower bed? Do I not pay attention to the words that I'm reading? Proudly, Himiko-san took out a bulb from the plastic bag in her hand and showed me. Counting them up, there seemed to be around 100. Sure, if 2 people were planting, it'd be done in about an hour, but I was worried about something else. It's okay to just go ahead and plant them? Well, this patch is for winter use after all. Well, what I'm asking about is the just go ahead part. It's fine. It's not like we'll get in trouble. That really didn't feel like much of an explanation, but winter use probably meant that it was for flowers that bloom in the winter. And I understood that. I understood that for that reason, now was the time to plant them. But even then, I didn't see how that connected with planting in the hospital's flower beds without permission. Or were there people on the 7th floor permitted this much freedom? Okay, why don't we start? Dig until 10 centimeters and then plant it, right? Once she said that, she handed the bag of bulbs and a small gardening trowel over to me. Recently, my health had been fine, so this wasn't a problem. But I wonder if it was all right for Himiko-san to work under this blazing sky. I couldn't help but worry about that, but Himiko-san herself was planting with amazing vigor. Dig, dig, dig. Dig, 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 dig. Dig! Bury me underneath everything that I am! Do you like my wimpy little screams there? I can't do it as loud as I would normally do it because I think I'd blow the mic out even with as much compression I have on this thing. Maybe gardening was a hobby? One might believe that since her hands moved unnaturally well, innately well, unnaturally. What was the word? Unnaturally, all right. I don't know why I thought it said innately, but I guess it would also work for Himiko. Yeah, just lightly cover it with dirt like that. Once in a while, as I watched and imitated her, she would give instructions. Say, what flowers are these? Daffodils. You know of them? Man, there's a real messed up story, speaking of daffodils, where my English teacher told me once that her dad, like when he was growing up, I guess that his dad made it a purpose to like teach him the word daffodils wrong for some reason. And he taught him to say it as daffodils. And this was like all in an effort to make him look stupid in like a very specific situation where like, who says daffodils? Like, I think that this is the first time I've read or said the word daffodils in like 10 years. But they can, like, his dad even confirmed that, yeah, I taught the kid that daffodils was how you said that. It was just like, why? I don't know, just to mess with him. And this was like, you know, like the 1920s or 30s or whatever. But it's just like, that's such a weird, specific thing to do to a kid. I don't remember, like, how it eventually came out. I think it ended up just being laughed at in class and being corrected, and then they found out that his dad taught him it wrong on purpose. But that's just such a weird thing to have, a weird specific thing to have just honed in on. Daffodils, you know of them? I mean, I know the name at least, and I know that you don't say it daffodils. Even so, I can only remember that they were white flowers. Having only seen them blooming on TV or in a book, this was the first time I've held a bulb like this. You know, it's quite surprising for them to be around in this season. Really? Yeah, normally it would be around the end of summer. And then Himiko-san taught me various things. That the scientific name was Narcissus, from the family how you could grow them from seeds, but since they only took a few years to bloom, bulbs are planted instead. How, in the deep of winter, when the flower beds were a lonely place, their single, proud, blooming form was impressive and beautiful. So, gardening really is your hobby? It's not really a hobby or anything, but you know, we are in a hospital where this is a very, you know, you ain't got a lot to do. Then why do you know so much? If I had to say, it was a part of the job, I guess. A gardener? A florist? But before she said she'd liked cars, I didn't really understand. I still really don't know much about Himiko-san. Well, either way, when these bloom, I won't be around. And as always, cheerfully talking about things that make you stop short. What I knew was that she was a resident of the 7th floor and that the rest of her time was within sight. Oh. Sorry about that. Phone beeping at me. And paying that no heed, she does these things and was a person who could be called carefree. Okay, since it's more or less done, it's about time we go up to the room. Together, we carefully washed our hands and headed to the 7th floor. Right in front of us as we got off the elevator was a large cart carrying lunch. It was already that time. And so, with Himiko-san's lunch tray in hand, we went back to the room. Normally, when this time came, I'd be heading back home to eat lunch. Hey Setsumi, you want to go to the cafeteria together? It's a lot of trouble to go back to your home, isn't it? Holding her own tray, Himiko-san made the suggestion. Normally, I would have wound up thinking it over, but today was a bit different. Today, I brought lunch, so... Oh, you brought lunch? Yeah, my mom made it for me. As I spoke, I took out the lunch box from a tote bag and opened it on the small table near the bed. And the frozen barley tea I brought along was now melted just right for drinking. Something wrong? Setsumi! Ah, you scared me. Right now, I'm just really touched. To think that there would be someone who would bring lunch to such a place. Thank you, thank you. Hey, don't cling. Oh, was that just a bit over the top? And so we began eating lunch together. Himiko-san got off the bed and we sat in folding chairs next to each other. By the way, Himiko-san's lunch, even though it was the 7th floor, didn't look all that different from the food on the other wards. I wondered if I wondered if it would have been extremely luxurious, but it was what you would call a plain hospital lunch. Compared to that, my lunch, which Mother had put effort into making, spicy fried tofu, lots of croquettes, it was very lively. Oh, come on, you gotta share, come on. It's the joys of youth in Japan. If I've learned anything, it's that you get around the table and you share lunches together, because that's great. Hey, can I have one? Yeah. Ah, hot! This is a curry croquette. It wasn't supposed to be all that spicy, but Himiko-san drank far too much water. You okay? Yeah, I'm just really bad with anything spicy. Unlike her normal image, some tears were in her eyes. She looked so pitiful, I decided to tell her what was in them. This is a vegetable croquette. That's pumpkin. And the one in front is a meat croquette. Wait, just by looking you can tell what's inside? I give a nod at her words. So to show the half-believing, half-doubting One-san, I split open the croquettes with my chopsticks. See, I'm a genius when it comes to croquettes. Wait, how did you know? The outsides all look the same. Well, it's not like they're exactly the same. Well, for me at least, I can't really tell them apart. Hey, could it be that you know a lot about croquettes? Well, not particularly. I didn't think it was all that amazing myself. Basically, from eating them every day, I just learned to pick out the little differences between the outsides. Thanks for the food. Once our meal was finished, I placed the now empty lunchbox once again into the tote bag. Hey, Professor Croquette! Eh? Want to go for an after-meal ice cream, Professor? Could it be that Professor Croquette meant me? I don't know who else it would mean, sweetie. Don't go giving me weird nicknames. Aw, it looks like you don't like it. But is giving someone a cute nickname on her like list of 10 things to do. Beyond the windows that could only open 15 centimeters was the summer sky. The voices of noisily crying cicadas and Himiko-san's bright laughing voice rang out in the narrow room. There, always bright and cheery, was Himiko-san. And just maybe, I too was smiling. This is so cute. Just gorgeous little story together. I know this game's gonna just smash me across the rocks at some point, but this is so beautiful. It's so nice. Afterwards, we passed the time as usual in the room. When we parted, I was making to leave the 7th floor. Hey, Choto a minute. Ah, she's so cute. Who are you? Turning around, there was an One-san I didn't know. A cute it's Chihiro! A cute frilly skirt, a red apron, and a rosary on her chest left an impression. Oh! She's adorable! Ah! Other helpers I've seen before wore the same aprons. So that probably meant this person was also a helper. Did you mean me? This place is supposed to be restricted to people who are involved and relatives. Are you perhaps a family member of someone? For a moment, I thought about how to answer and then slowly opened my mouth. Oh, someone called Himiko's friend. You're a friend? That's what I've been told. Was there? No, it's nothing. Excuse me. With those words, the One-san once again went off somewhere. What was that just now? It was probably a helper, but... Around when the sun had completely set and today's dinner was ending. You've cleaned it out, didn't you? At the empty lunchbox, my mother looked pleased. Then I'll also make lunch for you starting tomorrow. Aww. Thank you. Truth was, Himiko-san had eaten the fries for me, but I wasn't able to reveal that. We found somebody who can eat the fries for us, though! Yeah! We are halfway out of this, so long as we can get her to just pack them into lunch and not, pile them on for dinner. Maybe like, hey, Himiko, I heard you really like them fries. Once I opened the window in the room, just a bit of cool night wind came in. My room. By the window, the sailor uniform was drying. The sweltering summer heat made me want to turn on the air conditioner, but when I thought about Father, who still hadn't come home yet, I stopped. Come to think of it, Himiko-san, in the end, she was really vague about it, but I wonder if planting flowers in the flower bed without permission would cause her any problems. On top of that, the story from before about how she didn't need a helper and how no one came to visit her was also mysterious. Name Himiko, Libra, blood type AB, ID bracelet color was white. I still probably didn't know anything about One-san. Punishment? I don't like this. Good lord, you can't just hit me in the face with that. Oh. Man, this guy, I don't like the implications of this word being used at all, because it's like, could just be getting punished for bringing food in or planting flowers, and they're gonna go tear down your pretty flowers or something. But I don't think it's gonna be that. I think it's gonna be, the punishment. Like, oh, we all know. Crap. The next day. Today, we ate our lunch in a different place. In a deserted lounge while watching the daytime news impersonally playing on the television, we ate. Oh, these croquettes are so good! Today, again, Himeko-san seemed to want the dishes in my lunch. I also knew that hospital food was bad. So on top of the table, my lunch and Himeko-san's hospital meal were spread out like the two of us. Yeah, we're just like having our own little buffet together. Yeah. That's fun. Hey, I want a vegetable croquette next. On the right edge. Thank you, Professor Setsumi. I'm not gonna tell you anymore. Oh, come on, it's a joke. It's a joke. Hey, if she's not gonna tell you anymore, that also means keep doing it. As we made these little exchanges around when today's lunch came to an end. Hey, I've been wondering from before. Is it that you don't like them? As she spoke, she pointed to the fries in the lunchbox. In the end, didn't I eat them all by myself yesterday? Oh man, this girl's so observant. Like, she just picks up on these little things that are just like... Himiko's awesome. I don't like them. Then why are they in there? It's complicated. How should I answer? I debated it a bit and decided to tell the truth. Because I'm thought to like them by my mom. No, looks like you got a hard too. Probably, even with just that, my meaning with I really hate the way this story uses probably to start a sentence like this. It is literally like trying to read a road bump in my mouth and brain sometimes when they do that. It was like before with the clothes. For some reason, Himeko-san seemed to see through the heart of things. However, the words that Himeko-san spoke next were clearly in a different tone of voice. But that's not kindness, you know? Huh? Well, it's probably something you can't understand. If you're trying to be considerate of people, that's a big mistake. Mistake? Not kindness? I mean, yeah, like, she's not wrong. Like, you get caught up in thinking that you're doing something for somebody and you're just kind of like trying to spare their feelings, but in the end, you're not helping them any, and it's just gonna like, it's gonna get worse as time goes and all of that, yeah. At the very least, those words weren't directed at Mother, but probably towards me. Right and wrong. If it's that, I understand. Even if I don't think not saying how I really feel is right, then was it that revealing the truth was kindness? I think it would be. Like, your mom would probably feel bad, but I think that you can also put it in a way where it's just like, hey, I'm kind of like over fries now. Like, you know, I think that that would be totally unacceptable. Like, you don't have to just tell her, I've been stuffing these things down my face for like 3 years and I hate them. You don't have to go, you know, you don't have to go that route, but you can also just be like, hey, can we like not do that for a while? I think I'm like, you know, had my fill for a bit. Then was it that revealing the truth was kindness? To say what Mother had gone through for my sake was something I actually hated? Would that be kind? No, that would not be kindness. Kindness would be finding a way to say it to make her stop doing the thing that you're doing, because she, like, she's not basing her entire, you know, view of this situation on you liking fries. It's not the fries, it's that she wants to do something for you, and It doesn't matter. Like, it could be like making a taco or something. Like, it could be literally anything else. It's just, it's very much like the time that somebody bought me a Powerpuff Girls thing because I liked Powerpuff Girls at the time. And then for 3 years in a row, for some reason, anytime an occurrence of when a present was involved would happen, oh look, Polly's getting more Powerpuff Girls merchandise. And at some point I had to say, all right, y'all, like, I'm kind of over it now, but I didn't like blow up at anybody. It's only years later now that it's actually a very funny thing that happened that I could point it and say, hey, you remember when like this happened and for 3 years everybody got me Powerpuff Girls stuff? This is a similar thing to that. So yeah, I wouldn't say, yeah, I hate these things. I would just kind of say, hey, can we chill out for a while? Let's like mention something you do like, and maybe we'll go with that. Afterwards, I was asked to go shopping at the store for Himiko-san. As I left the elevator on the 7th floor and was again headed to the lounge. In the hallway just before the lounge, I saw Himiko-san talking to someone. I was sure that person was the helper that had spoken to me the other day. I thought about going up and speaking to them as the two of them spoke, but for some reason, sensing that it wasn't that kind of atmosphere, I couldn't help but watch them from afar. Look, today's IV drip still hasn't have it. You still haven't had it. I know, I said I was going back now. And also about how you'll be bathing this afternoon. Chihiro, did you think I didn't know? I didn't mean that. So there's no need for unnecessary consideration. Go back to your own assignment. And the unknown One-san left like that. Without a doubt, that was the person who spoke to me the other day. Hey! Who was that person just now? Just a helper, don't worry about it. An answer as if she were pushing something aside. To me, from the explanation I heard about the helpers on the 7th floor, I thought they were very admirable. And yet, looking at Himiko-san, it didn't seem like she felt that way. Especially with the person just now. I felt she had even been cold. Perhaps seeing that I wanted to say something, Himiko-san entered the lounge before us. And sitting in a sofa, she offered the chair facing her. You see, I once was a helper. What? Here? So that was someone I knew. That was unexpected. For me, the bright, cheery Himiko-san and the image of a helper just wouldn't connect. At the very least, my image of the helpers on the 7th floor was that they were always calm and collected. But if I thought about it, a part of it did fit. Patients on this 7th floor, unlike patients of other wards, were in a way given freedom. However, even among them, I had thought that Himiko-san was special. For some reason, it felt as if she were allowed to get away with even more. The questions I had before about planting in the garden without permission and how she said she didn't need an assigned helper. How she would randomly give friendly nods to doctors and nurses. Surely, because she had been a helper before in this hospital, she had probably been allowed more. I also happen to think that, you know, Chihiro's probably like if nobody on the staff is okay with it, I'm pretty sure that like Chihiro's like, you know, pulling strings to kind of get her a little slack, you know, behind the scenes, even though it seems like they are not on good speaking terms now. She's probably still doing stuff for her from the back, or everybody just is, you know, cognizant of the situation that, like, you know, hey, somebody's sister is here now, and out of consideration for her, you know, allow her to have a little bit of that freedom. Say, can I ask one question?
どうしてヘルパーやってたの?
Why were you a helper? This time I tried voicing my next question. Even if it were true that Himiko-san had been previously a helper, why she would work as one, I just couldn't imagine. At the least, from what I knew about Himiko-san, I thought she would be indifferent to something like volunteering or being a helper.
うちはカトリックだからね。
Well, my family's Catholic.
カトリック。
Catholic?
ええ。私の両親もそうだけど、こういう福祉
Yeah,
活動
my
に
parents
よ
also
く参
did
加
it
するの
too, but I'd often participate in such public welfare activities. That was an even more unexpected answer. Of course, I myself knew absolutely nothing about Christians or religious matters. But even then, compared to the helper just before, I felt that religion was even farther from my image of Himiko-san.
それにほら、ここってキリスト教病院でしょ?
And well, I mean, this place, it's a Christian hospital, right? Well,
それは
that I know.
だから余計にね。
So, even more so, you see, she spoke as if as if that were the answer to everything. Certainly, I hadn't really considered it up until now. But now that she had mentioned it, I did occasionally see people who looked like priests and sisters. But still, for us normal sick people, there were a few things that we noticed about the kind of hospital it was. Instead of those details, whether there was a specialization in surgery or whether there was a famous internist present, from those, a hospital would be chosen. However, for people who work there, there was probably a huge difference.
でも、所詮私はエセカトリックよ。
Well, I mean, from the start, I was a fake Catholic.
そうなの。
Really?
偶然、教会の隣に家があったってだけだし。
Yep, by chance, my house was next to a church. That's all. Himiko-san answered in her usual cheery way. Whether those words were the truth or a lie, I didn't know. However, at that time, her gaze shifted to the window. In that profile that I couldn't see clearly, I thought there was some denial of those words.
でもね、まさか逆に自分が7階に入るとは思
But
わ
I
なかったわ。
certainly didn't think I'd come around and be admitted to the 7th floor myself.
やっぱ罰が当たったのかもしれないわね。
Maybe I really am being punished. Oof. Yeah, it's kind of like where I thought we were going with that chapter name. When the long summer day slowly ended, unusually, Father was home early, so today our family of 3 ate dinner together. Since we moved, his commute lengthened, and it had been a while since the 3 of us gathered around the dinner table like this. Oh? Made a friend?
ええ、だから最近は毎日出かけているのよ。
Yes, that's why lately she's been going out every day. Well, isn't that great, Setsumi?
うん。
At my making a friend, Father also became happy. I'm pretty sure that because my health had been well lately, Father was even more pleased. Before, the 3 of us would always eat dinner together. But now, because he comes home late, Mother and I together was normal. There were also times when she would come home late from her part-time job and I would eat alone. That was the norm now. Since that day 3 years ago, days of going in and out of hospitals, Himiko-san said that she herself was being punished. Then, did I also do something wrong that was being punished? Just what kind of wrong did I commit? And the one who's being punished, was it myself or my parents? Or perhaps both?
どうかした？説明。
Is something wrong, Setsumi?
なんでもない。
Nothing. Opening the window, even in such stuffy heat, the night breeze felt nice. There were many things I didn't understand. But if we were being punished, then who's doing the punishing? And if I said I'm sorry to that person, would we be forgiven? I, too, would silently eat fries. I who would silently eat fries had also been called unkind. And Himeko-san, for some reason, came close to me. Until now, outside of family, others had done the reverse and avoided me. I'm sure that's true of her also. It was because there was no one else, so it probably was because she was bored. Oof. That hurts a little bit, I'm sure. All right. I think that is a good place to call that one for now. So, Pink Manicure. Well, this one sounds like it'll be fun. But we'll find out what that's all about next time. I mean, I've got a pretty good idea with a title, with a chapter title like Pink Manicure. So, yeah, pretty sure I know, we're gonna be experiencing some real girly stuff next time. All right. So that was a good one. Of course, as always, thanks so much for lending me a bit of your time. It is always appreciated. And I hope you have a nice rest of your whatever, wherever it is for you. You have a nice one, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye. Bye. Uh-oh.